Welcome back to Melodic Memories of Light's Monarch. I'm Casey, and today I just wanted to kind of go over the fact that it's the new year. I can't believe it. The new year is finally here, and Happy New Year to you all. I know I wished it to everyone in the last episode, but now that we're actually a couple days into it, at least a week, how's everyone feeling? I don't even think it is a week yet, but regardless, we're getting close. And I need to ask, just to check in, how you feeling? How you doing? Because I know I personally am feeling great. Um, well, I guess that would be a slight bit of a lie. I've been struggling just a little bit on personal issues. I'm not really sure why, or else I would honestly talk about them. I feel I've just gotten accustomed to the warning signs, and I can kind of tell when I'm about to fall into maybe a pit of darkness or a little bit of like a backslide of sorts. And I don't really know what that means. I'm okay. Don't worry about me. I promise I'll be fine. But no, I think if anyone listening is struggling, just know you're not alone, because the start of the year, yes, I want to say I'm good. The basic reaction is to say, oh, it's great. I'm fine. Everything's good. Because Christmas was great. New Year's was great. And just know, essentially, with all my rambles, what I'm trying to say is just know that it's okay. It's okay to not be okay. And it's okay to recognize that you're falling into maybe some sadness. And if that's the way you're starting the year, that's the way you're starting the year. But know that you can turn it around for yourself. It's all up to you. You have the power. Don't ever let anyone else have that power. And if they already do, take it back, because you are the controller of your emotions. Even when you're not, I know people suffer from depression and anxiety amongst many other things. But know that you are you, and you can control how you feel. Even if it is a little complicated for others, all things considered, do your best. It's okay. Anyways, not to be too preachy, I don't know why I even went on that tangent. I'm just having a time. Happy New Year. And I kind of wanted to touch on my experience over the holidays, because I figured it was a hell of a time. I didn't do a whole lot aside from seeing family, but I kind of wanted to dive in on that experience. And for me personally, it started with the classic Christmas Eve dinner. And I know that this happens every single year. It's nothing new at this point. We always get together at my auntie's. It used to be my great grandma's place, but since she's a little bit older, she's still around, don't worry. But I know every year that passes is 1 year closer to the inevitable, but you don't think like that because that's very morbid and people will think you're a psychopath. My Christmas Eve dinner, it went as well as it could. I ended up having to work late, which was not in the plans, but with the way that my job goes, I was able to finish it off within time and made my way down all the way to my auntie's place, which is about a 2 hour-ish drive, and I got to have dinner with everyone. And luckily, I was first able to go to my mom's, drop off my stuff, kind of tidy myself up a little bit from work, since I literally left straight from it. Thank goodness for playlists and people, which I was lucky enough to actually be listening to my top 10 album of the year playlist that I made. Shout out to my last episode. That playlist, it's banger after banger, and I know exactly why. I made it. Obviously, I'm going to think so. They're my top 10 albums of the year, like hello. But it made the drive so much easier, so much faster. I honestly don't remember much aside from just getting there to Christmas Eve dinner and having my anxiety feel like it was through the roof. I was worried, I was stressed out, to say the least, and it was all just because of my own brain, my own mind. Like I said, I picture my family, my immediate family, I adore, I love them, but then the rest of them, not to downplay them at all, but they don't really know me. I don't reach out, they don't reach out to me, and I know I kind of touched on this before, but It just feels like it's something that happens every year, the classic normal things of just either being ignored or asked the exact same questions every time. Like, do you got a new girlfriend? Are you still with the same girl? Half of them, I don't even know what they think of me, to be honest. And I honestly don't even care because it's a sad life to live your life with caring what others think. But with my family, I obviously was expecting the worst, and luckily I was proven wrong. I really didn't have to worry too much about anything. By the time I got there, it went way, way better than I could have ever expected it to. And I was honestly kind of feeling or heartwarmed? Is that the right word to use? It felt all very heartwarming. And honestly, I don't know why I was so worried. I don't know why I had so many doubts. Yet when I got there, yes, I did get asked the classic questions of those things, or even on top of it, do you hunt? Have you hunted this year? Blah, blah, blah. The classic things, small town Alberta questions. And now that was asked to me by like two people, which, was less than I was expecting. But I actually got talked to. And it was more than that and just asking me about Taylor Swift. People actually wanted to talk to me, and I felt like I was a part of the family for once. It was weird because I've never gotten that yet. And I don't know if it's because I'm now just getting older, I'm able to hold a conversation better, I have more confidence again. I don't know. For whatever it went well, and I'm happy. And I got to reach out to my cousin Nikolai, amongst other people, but him specifically, who actually makes his own music. I would plug all of his socials, his music here if I could, but he doesn't have anything released. So he goes around the local venues for when he can, when he has time, and him and his guitar, he sits there and plays. And honestly, he also showed me a jam session he had with his buddy. And honestly, I'm so jealous. I want that to be me. I want to be able to do that. Even if it isn't anything huge on any huge scale, I would love to just be me, my guitar, or instrument of choosing, and just enjoying live music by creating it. Creating that vibe, letting other people literally pick off of it and jam with me. Like that, the thought of it just gets me extremely smiley and excited because that's what I want to work towards this year. I might not be doing the whole bar scene or I might not be playing anything for people, but I want to pick up my guitar and I want to learn it. And I know it's something that I've wanted to do for a long time, but chalk it up to New Year's resolutions, the inspiration from that, whatever it might have been, and whatever it is, I love music. It's no surprise. I have this podcast. I made it off of the premise of me just wanting to ramble about my music that I love. So what better time than now, especially because it's a new year, an excuse for most people to start things that they've always wanted to do. And I think this is my excuse. So New Year's resolution right here. I want to end the year by knowing the guitar, knowing how to play it. Like, yes, I won't be a master, but I want to be able to pick up a guitar and just play a song, at least one. That's my goal. One of my many goals, at least. But to not ramble on too much more about that for right now, it went really well. Nikolai, doing great. The rest of my family, doing great. I got to play some Wii Sports. Or not even Wii Sports. It was Switch Sports. But it was like Wii Sports. But more like modern. I don't know. Switch Sports anyways, Nintendo Switch Sports. I got my ass beat regardless. I think the only thing I won at was badminton. And that replicates my years through high school so well. I wish I was an athletic kid instead of academic. I was never really good at any sports aside from badminton and floor hockey, but that's just because of my hustle, my passion for hockey, which I didn't even really get to show until my last couple years of school. Rip me, I guess. But for playing Switch Sports, I did get my ass handed to me in everything but badminton, and it just relatable. Just like life. Just as life so would have it. Anyways, it was on his Switch, my little cousin's. And then by the time we were all leaving, the dinner, it was amazing, by the way. My auntie knows how to make this mile-high pumpkin pie. It's like a whipped cream pumpkin pie thing. Like, it's almost as if the pumpkin filling was whipped. And I don't even know why I'm explaining it. If you want to look up what a mile-high pumpkin pie is, go for it. I'm sure it'll be the same thing. I don't think she created it, but if she did, fuck, I'll take a picture of it next time and post it on my socials because, oh, it is delicious. And then we finally made our way back home to my mom's, and we just ended up sitting around bullshitting until having to go pick up my little sister, who was at the party, yes, but had to go to a work party as well, on Christmas Eve of all days, which, wild, but, she works at a bar, so I can't really blame them. The people that work there, their life is the bar, not gonna lie, for the most part. But we just sat around the table, bullshitting, catching up on life, me, my parents, and I ended up having to go pick up my little sister, which was fine. It was just like 11:30, nearing Christmas, and I would have loved to have a nap, just sleep throughout the whole thing, but I wanted to keep my mom company, and somebody had to drive my little sister's car home. Who better than me, I guess? So I picked her up. I know it sounds like I'm complaining. I'm really not. Love you, Forrest. Don't worry. But got to pick her up, pick up her car. Her car was empty. She took us to the gas station. She filled it up with her card. This goes to say how drunk she was. She filled it up with $15, which was about 13 liters of gas, and just kind of laughed about it and went into the bathroom and didn't really remember it. So I just drove her car home. It was just something that made me kind of giggle, so I wanted to share. Anyways, when we got home, went to sleep, woke up, it was Christmas Day. What better morning, what better day than Christmas Day? Most people love it. Not everyone. I'm not much of a Christmas person, as I've said. But I must say, this year it felt different. And not the bad kind of different either, because I've had that. I've had the bad kind of different where it just feels like nonsense. Like you don't want to be there. That there's no real point in any of this. And why do I bother? But, and don't get me wrong, I've always loved seeing my mom, my stepdad, my siblings, and I've always loved seeing my dad, my stepmom. Like, I enjoy that part of Christmas, that aspect of it, the family part. But everything else was just kind of there, and I always felt like I was not really there myself. Like, in the moment is what I'm trying to say. I never felt like I was there in the moment, and this year, I must say, felt different. It felt like I was. It felt like I was finally present after many years of just not being so. And I must say, it probably goes to me having to find myself over the past couple of years. And on top of finding myself, just retouching base with what means the most to me. Because when I say I was lost over the past year, 2 years, 3 years, there was a time where I questioned myself. I'm like, am I ever going to get past this? Am I ever going to move forward? Is this ever going to end? And I don't want to toot my own horn here and then catch myself in saying, oh shit, you're starting the year off bad. It was all just in your head. But I feel like I'm finally present. I feel like that Christmas that just passed, where I was able to spend time with my family and do all of the things that I've wanted to do, it felt different because I was there. I wasn't just in my mind thinking about things, whether I wanted to or not. I was actually there. I wasn't on my phone. I wasn't doing anything else but spending time, quality time, with the people I love and that mean the most to me. And honestly, I'm thankful for it. I got to wake up Christmas morning to my family sitting on the couch and waiting for me, have a coffee, and I was there. Like, I know I'm there every other year, but it felt different, and I don't know how else to explain that. But I'm not going to continue beating a dead horse saying the same thing. Just, it was different, and I'm very happy for it. I got to open up all my gifts. I got a lot of what I wanted, even including my headphones for my iPod, which I did find, my iPod Classic. Found out it was a 6.5 gen. Not the best one to work on, but not a bad one either. I just need to get the parts now. So I've got the headphones, I've got the iPod. I just need to rip that bitch apart, see what's inside of it, take out the hard drive, replace it with a flash drive, and then replace it with a new battery because I want it to last as long as it can. I wanted to say forever, but nothing lasts forever. Let's be real. Take that as you will. But it's nice to finally have found that. My mom, thank you. Shout out to her. She actually took it on herself to look for it. And I don't know why, because I mentioned it to her and she went out of her way to find it. Like, I was there too looking for it, but she helped me. She didn't need to. It was something I just mentioned, like, oh yeah, I want to see if I can find this. And sure enough, she helped me find it. And when I got home, of all things, I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but with the iPod, when I got home, Logan had the moment that we all wait for, where you have a cable that you set aside years ago and told yourself maybe this will come in handy one day. He had the moment where it came in handy. He had an old 30-pin iPod cord for me to use. Thank you, Logan. Fucking love you, buddy. So glad you had that moment. I'm happy for you. But to get back on track here, all I had, which I also found at my mom's, was a CD-esque, it was like CD, DVD, iPod dock thing. Alarm clock, I guess, would be the easiest way to say. It's also a radio. It actually hooks up to my speaker cables, which hooks up to my amplifier into the speakers, obviously. And it was so cool to see that it had that. And it can hook up to a TV to play DVDs. Like, very odd, but it was one of my brothers from when they grew up. And I just asked, hey, would this be missed? Apparently not, so I took it. So I have something for my iPod to be able to go through the speakers. I don't think the disk drive works anymore, so that feature of it might be toast, but all I need it for is the iPod dock. And so far, it seems to charge the iPod, because I did test it. Well, that's all I got to test. I can't say much more than that. But when I do get it all figured out, all fixed, all prettied up and everything, there will obviously be a picture taken. Find it on my socials when the time comes. And of course, I will talk about it because it's something that I'm really looking forward to being able to do. Something that I really want to do. And granted, I don't think I'm getting rid of Spotify. I know that was something that was up in the air for me, but I kind of want to have a balance of both. I want to have this for all my music that I have digitally just saved. And then Spotify can be for me finding new artists, find new music, and play the ones that I love in times that I don't have my iPod, or in times where, oh hey, I want to give these people streams to try to get this album noticed. It'll be moments like that. As what I'm not trying to do is take money away from these artists by just illegally pirating their music and not really giving them what they deserve. And I know Spotify is no fucking better. Like, it's better marginally because they're getting like cents on the dollar, like cents. It's not really great regardless which way you look at it, but at least in my mind I feel like at least it's something. We'll see. Depends on how much they want to up the prices even more than they already have. We'll see how the year goes. To kind of get back on track here with Christmas, I was able to spend it with my mom, my stepdad, my sister, and then my grandparents with my auntie. They came along for supper. We got to have supper with them, have some dessert, and then we ended the night on Christmas night playing marbles. And sequence, I believe is what it's called. Marbles is very much like Ludo, or if you don't know Ludo, I guess it would be Sorry. If anyone knows the board game Sorry by Hasbro, not sponsored, but hey, Hasbro, reach out. It's essentially that. It's just on like a plywood kind of thing. Bristleboard might be the proper word for it. If I knew, sorry for sounding stupid, but if I knew, I'd say. It's on a board regardless, and you just roll the dice, the marbles go around, whoever gets all four in home first wins, very much like Sorry. Anyways, the other game was Sequence. You gotta get your row of 6, 5 for one row, 6 for two, and you need a total of 3 rows. I know that probably makes no sense, but it was fun. It was a great way to end Christmas. I love board games. I love having those disconnected moments with my family, amongst not just family, but friends too. I wish more people liked board games. And no, I don't mean, oh, let's play Mario Party because it is a board game, but actual just turn off the TVs, turn off everything, keep a light on, light a candle even if you want the real disconnected vibes, and just play a board game. I wish that was something that was more common, or a card game, but it's not. It's something that kind of got lost over the years, and luckily, I was able to push for it to happen with my family on Christmas. So it was a very happy memory that I can look back on, and it reminds me of Christmases prior because it is something that we normally do. In any sense, though, the next day, Boxing Day, marks the beginning, as every year does, for the World Junior Championship for the IIHF. It's hockey, and for those that don't know. And I will keep it brief because I don't know how many people like hockey, but I know I sure do, and I watch it every year. For it is tradition with my dad, as I went to see him on Boxing Day along with my stepmom to watch the World Juniors and celebrate Christmas together. And it was a great time. Honestly, not gonna lie, the whole Christmas Day on Boxing Day with them was great. And Canada even won their game. They shut out Finland, which is surprising because I need to go off about this for a moment because the next day they ended up having a game against Latvia. Now, let me tell you, Latvia is a team, respect to them, not trying to disrespect them, but they're a team that's not usually good at hockey, just to put it bluntly. Is that somehow this year they beat Canada. And it was kind of the start to tell you, hey, watch out, because the rest of the tournament followed suit. They won one other game against Germany, which was also very close. Shouldn't have been that close, but they won that one. And then they went to lose 3 in a row. They lost against USA on New Year's Eve. Big rip. I look forward to those games every year. It's been forever since we've had a New Year's game between Canada and USA. And they lost. Pretty bad, mind you, 4-1. It was tied for a long time, but still not good. Never a good loss to take against the United States, just being a Canadian. It's always extra hard to swallow when it's against them. And then the next game was against Czechia. So sorry, they played 2 games and lost them in a row. They lost a total of 3 because they ended up losing against Czechia in the quarterfinals and are out of the tournament. Yeah, not great. Not the best way to end the holiday season and start the new year, but I will say it's not completely the end of the world. It is just a game at the end of the day. It's just a game that I personally really love and a team that I personally really love. I know they have allegations. I know there's a lot towards Hockey Canada that is not good, but it is a tradition for me with my dad, and that's how I view it. I don't think of any of the other things, whether they're there or not. And I know that's not always the best way of thinking about it, but it is tradition to watch them. I love Team Canada. I love Hockey Canada in terms of them playing their game and winning gold. I love watching that every year, and this year they failed again. And I hope that doesn't follow suit into the Four Nation, whatever it's called, Four Nation thing that the NHL is hosting, which will be Team Canada playing in that with NHL players. I'm super excited for that. I hope that is our retribution. I really hope. In any sense, if there isn't a retribution for us, there's not really much else to say than that. There just might not be. But in any sense, hockey, it's something I watch with my dad every year because Team Canada, he grew up watching it. He passed the tradition on to me, and I would love for one day to be able to pass that on to my own kids and share that because it's some of my most cherished memories are attributed to those wins, those nights where it's just me and my dad and watching the hockey game, or it just moments like those are ones that I remember very fondly and ones that I will forever remember very fondly even when I don't get to experience them with my dad anymore. And that is a thought that I know is never nice to think of, but just a part of life. And that's why you have to really take these moments and cherish them. And on top of all of that, Valley, the band that I do adore, the one that got my second place album of the year, they were featured on one of the montages right before, I believe, the game they played Germany. Which, fuck yeah, they won that game, thank God. I can keep that one recorded. Because they just featured When You Know Someone. And I wasn't expecting that at all. The fact that they played it, like, I know they're a Canadian band. Odds are they'll play Canadian artists, but it caught me so off guard and left the biggest smile on me. Probably the highlight of the tournament. And that is kind of sad to say. But again, music and memories, they go hand in hand. And I'm just glad that I was able to do that with my dad for another year. I know it wasn't the outcome that we wanted, but hey, can't win them all. Sometimes you gotta lose. The only way to come back from it is pick yourself back up and try again. And hopefully next year they're able to do just that. With a new team, with the same players, if they can even play, because I know it's based on age. But hey, it's a matter of time and we'll see. So, enough about hockey, though. I went on about that for too long. I got to spend the rest of the holidays with my dad, and we didn't really do much, my dad and my stepmom, but we just kind of sat and enjoyed each other's company, watched hockey, was able to watch some other things on TV, some movies, and it was just nice. It was calm. It was peaceful. And that's something that I felt myself as itching. Like, I don't know why, but like it was like my skin was crawling. It was honestly like an addiction. I was going through withdrawals. But I wasn't. I'm not a drug addict. I'm not any person like that. It was just for the simple fact that I hadn't had a moment to sit down and rest and relax in so long. I didn't know what to do with myself because this was the first time in months that I had the chance to just sit there and do nothing. Like, actually nothing. No need to go somewhere. No need to be like, oh, fuck, I need to go here in a couple hours. Like, nothing. I felt like I was losing my mind, but then I just had to remind myself, this is peace. Calm down. And I was able to. Luckily, I was able to, but it was something that I never really realized how busy I was until I hit that moment of reprieve to where I was able to relax. And it's something that I want to push into this year as well, to just get better at realizing, like, hey, you don't need to always be go, go, go. You can chill out. You can stop. You can take the time that you need. And I've started the year off well in doing so. Even with my mental state being a little foggy, it's still been good. And I can't really complain other than that. So then we went on a ski trip. Me, my family. We ended up going, my brother and his new fiance, Tyrell and Faith. Love you guys. Congratulations, just first and foremost. We ended up going skiing out at Worsley. I haven't been there in years, mind you. I used to go with my family quite often, but then we just stopped going. I'm not sure why. I think it's just because we moved. We ended up moving away, and it was a little bit further of a drive, a little bit harder to get to with life's just getting busy. But skiing, my God, do I ever love to ski. It is probably one of my favorite sports aside from hockey. I don't watch skiing, mind you, unless if it's the Olympics, but that's a special occasion, obviously. But it was lovely to go skiing with my family. It really brought me back to growing up, to some of my childhood, and those memories that I cherish. I was able to create more, and everyone had a little bit of a tumble. I didn't. Pro, go me. I luckily made it through, but my mom took a little bit of a tumble. I was a little worried about her. I'm glad she's doing okay. Love you, Mom. And we were able to take some pictures, capture the moments. My sister, unfortunately, couldn't make it because she was at home sick. And otherwise, it was a great time. I honestly can't complain. It was a hell of a time. I got to connect a little bit more with my brother's fiance, his soon-to-be wife, like my soon-to-be sister. It's weird to think of it like that, but it is true. And I'm just excited and happy that it went so well. And then, not soon after, I was able to come back home. So as the holiday season came to an end, I ended up making my way home like a day before New Year's. And I was able to spend New Year's Eve and New Year's Day with my buddies. We went throughout the night, not partying, but we ended up having a little get together. Me, Paul, Ryan, Logan, Alex. It was great. Honestly, I can't complain. I know there were a couple other people I would have liked to be there, but, life happens. A couple of those people aren't in my life anymore, or maybe they're just not a part of that group, whatever it is. Don't want to get into it too much right now because I don't know exactly where I stand with certain people. And that's what I'm trying to figure out this year. I want to know who actually wants me in their life and people that are really my friends. Like, I know who my friends are. I know I've got, obviously, Logan, Alex, Ryan, Paul, the ones that were with me. I've got Reese. I've got Rosie. I've got Crystal. I've got V. I know I have these people in my life, and there's more that I'm not even naming, I'm sure, but ones that are close. And those would probably be my close-knit group. And if I didn't name you, I'm sorry. It's not because you're not in it. It's just because maybe you need to reach out and tell me, like, hey, I love you. I appreciate you. Because sometimes people need to hear that. And to those of you that you know who you are, remember I love you. Remember you mean something to me. And when I get to listen back to this, I'll know who I'm talking about. And hopefully, if you are listening, you know who you are too. In any sense, though, I know that's very vague. Apologies. But I got to spend New Year's with my friends. We played some Mario Kart, which for those that don't know, Mario Kart is a tradition. It is something that I play with my buddies every New Year's, every time we have a party, whatever it is. We have to at least make sure we have an attempt at playing Mario Kart. So what it is Mario Kart, if you couldn't have guessed, but with beer, with drinks. It doesn't have to be beer, but you have to open up a drink as the timer goes 1, 2, 3, and you're supposed to drive, or 3, 2, 1, I suppose. And as it hits the 1, without going, you have to take a drink of your drink of as much of it as you want, but you have to be stopped. You cannot drink and drive, for it is illegal, even in Mario Kart. And over the course of 4 races, whoever has done their drink first, by doing it by the stopping and drinking, which you can stop mid-race and drink if you want, it's just not commonly done. You have to have your drink finished before the 4th race, and the first person to be able to do that and pass the finish line wins. And it is every race. I'm not just saying like, oh, the last race counts. Every single race counts, and whoever wins the points, whatever, you win. You're the Mario Kart champ. In any sense, I definitely was not, for I was too drunk. I got a solid 3rd place each time, which is really bad for me because I like to say I'm good at Mario Kart, but I was proven not to be that night. And yes, probably because of the drinks, probably because of the liquor, I am a little bit unpracticed. Who cares? It was fun. And then we ended up ending the night with some good old Wii Sports. And why, couldn't tell you. I just felt the desire to turn on my Wii, and everyone, as soon as I did it, was like, fuck yes. I think it caught everyone off guard, and it made me smile. It was great. It was a good fucking time. A good way to celebrate the year ending and going on into a new year. I honestly cannot complain. Thank you for everyone that has been a part of this past year with me, and for everyone that I'm bringing into this year with me to come. I'm excited for what's to come. I'm excited for this new year of new music, which should be honestly full of a whole bunch of shit. Be it Dayseeker, they're releasing a new album. Bad Omen should be releasing something new. NF might be coming out with something new. Black Veil might be coming out with something new. I think almost every artist that I love that didn't release something last year has a chance of showing us something this year. And that makes me so excited. We might even get more Noah Kahan this year. Like, the options, the opportunities, endless. And I think that's what makes me most excited. And I know I was feeling burnt out from music last year because of all of the new releases, but I do believe this year might be a little bit drawn back, or even if it isn't, I'm going to make sure that I don't get burnt out and I'm actually able to listen to all of the albums that I'm excited for and all of the releases that I'm excited for. And in saying all of this and rambling about all this, there's a lot to look forward to. And even if it's not your cup of tea, make the most of it, try it out, expand your genres, expand your tastes, and don't be afraid to try out something new. Follow your dreams, follow your goals. It's a new year. The world is your oyster. You've got this. And now that might be a little bit too preachy, but I just am happy, I'm excited, and whatever this year brings, for better or for worse, I'm here for it. I might not be ready for it, but I'm here for it. So, year, whatever you want to give me, good or bad, I will be here. I'll be talking to all of you over this podcast over the next year. I at least want to do this thing for a year if anyone cares to listen and let your voice be heard and reach out to me at socials. Let me know how your fucking Christmas was, how your New Year's was. What did you do? How did you enjoy it? Who were you with? Let me know. And again, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone. And honestly, here's a toast to a new year full of new beginnings, memories yet to be made, and music to be discovered. Thanks for sticking around and coming along for the journey, for new and old. And honestly, thanks for just discovering the music with me, for discovering the music within.